Alright, RPG message boxes, and hopefully a fairly short primer. Okay, so getting right into it. Message boxes will require a couple things. In this case, you need to define at least one font family, just to make sure that your messages display as in the font you intend. And then you need to define a user interface with them. In this case, I've got a few that I've defined within this project here for this purpose. We're going to be looking at this test one. This is basically the bare minimum of what most message boxes can or maybe should take up. So in this case, you have here, and I'll just go element by element. In this case, I'm going to display only the currently selected element. A message background, the character portrait, the character header, so that is the character's name, and the character message. The positioning and sizing is all done down here, either at a pixel level or at a relative positioning level, and you'll want to position those and change those settings until you get them to visually display in the preview kind of how you want them to, and that will be roughly correct. Let's see. All of these elements, except for the message background itself, will be defined in the show message command through an entity, which we'll get to in a moment. So you can leave most of these things just kind of partially defined. So in this case, you see I've got a bunch of placeholder text just to tell me the width of a valid text input size. So I know how the word wrapping or other things will work. In this case, word wrapping, drop shadow, all of these things are valid for how something will display. When you first come in and create a user interface, you're going to want to name it up here at the top, and you select user interface type. There's menu and message box. In this case, we're defining a message box. And then as you create these, you want to define them in this message box setting area. These will initially be blank. So in this case, you want to select your message element as, in this case, message, header element in this case as header, the picture element in this case as char or car or character, and the message background element is the only thing that will always have the same consistent appearance. All of the others will allow you to change whatever message is being stated, whoever the speaker is, whatever character portrait is appearing. So let's go over to that side of things now, as this is your basic setup for a message box itself within the user interface side. Okay, so let's make sure we are in our entity mode, and then you'll select whichever entity you want to add a script to. In this case, I'll select this one. This is one I've made for this purpose, so I've got a script here that's called talk. No condition, so it's always going to show up with this same message. And then if you right click, it'll pull up your script menu, and under message and display static message, it'll bring up your option menu. So the portrait will be that picture element in the template. So we'll go in, we'll select the image we want to display. We'll make sure that it's a single frame. You can do more if you want, I believe. These should be able to be animated, so you can have frames of animation if you choose. But in this case, we just want a single frame, single direction image. We get that placed in there, and we tell it this is Guy. So the person's name is Guy, and hello, this is a test, exclamation mark. And we're not quite done yet. We need to be sure that we select the template that we just made down here at the bottom. From this drop-down menu, you can see the Artemis dialog, moving dialog, dark dialog, and the test that we just made. You apply that, hit OK, save the project, and then let's open up a playtest. Make sure that everything looks good. First, we're going to talk to this guy over here, because this is one that I had predefined. So these are other dialog options, or dialog boxes. In this case, you can see the rotating star here as just one of those constant elements that shows up. You get the background moving as a small animated sprite. You get a little blood drip. These are just a few different styles, and you can do all of this stuff directly in the UI editor with different image elements. Then let's go talk to the guy that we just made. And there's Guy, and hello, this is a test, and his little speaker portrait off to the side there. That's the basics of message boxes. Hope this was helpful. If you need any more help, let us know.